Welcome everyone to the Valence League Season 14, Split 1, Division 2 Group Stage. Hopefully you guys are doing great today. Joining you guys on a casting couch for this evening. It's your boy JJ, and joining with me is Christia. How you doing, buddy? What's up?
Doing good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty all right. We have our first round going in of the first new year of League of Legends. How you been enjoying the new season so far?
Honestly, better than I expected. Although this season was supposed to end the so-called freak season meta, unfortunately, it's still lingering around. But you know what? It's better than nothing.
That's fair to say the least. Right now we have our first game going in. It's gonna be Hentie Havens versus Fireflies. I kind of don't want to pronounce it properly how I think it is. Is it how I think it is? Because they've been around for a while, so I don't want to like presume to pronounce their name incorrectly.
The Haven.
Yeah, the Haven.
Oh,
Because
I
I would
assume
think
they've been
it's like
doing
a
it for
tie,
5 years, so
right?
I assume they're living on the storied history of that one website that we shall not name. But
Of
yep.
course. You know, the cultural website that went down, went back up, and went back down again. You know, the weathered story. But of course, they're going to be against Fireflies as well, who's also had a storied past, I think, last 3 years or so. They've also not missed a split. Uh, I haven't really seen them make much playoffs, or if they did make playoffs, they just made top eight in not being able to secure any of the split wins or championship victories.
Aren't
But
they? I thought that Fireflies was like champions at one point, like maybe 2, 3 sports ago. I'm not sure, but they
uh,
definitely were. I think maybe
mhm.
maybe
Let's
I'm
see.
hearing stuff again.
Oh yeah, you're definitely correct. That they were the Division 3 winners. So I guess that's why I missed them because I was looking at the Division 2 wins. So that's my bad then. So they moved up from Division 3 into Division 2, trying to get their feet wet to see what this season's gonna bring them.
Yep. Oh, and both teams are ready. So we'll hop into Champ Select any moment here. Yeah, I actually don't know much about these two teams aside from, you know, that they're playing. That's literally all I know.
From what I've seen so far, they tend to gravitate towards Firefly tends to gravitate towards like map centric comps, so they tend to pick stuff like Twisted Fate, Karma for the movement. They have Ari for roaming and stuff like that. They tend to play very map orientated gameplay, and then you also happen to have Haven, who tends to fight more team comp oriented champions like Ornn, Reliant Soul, maybe some Veigar. They tend to play a little bit more front to back in those sort of situations. For what I've seen from their match histories so far.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see with the new, obviously, patch 14.3 rolled around. I'm not sure,
Mhm.
as we hop into Champ Select here, I'm not sure if the ASOL micro nerf did hit.
It's actually been hit so far right now. It's been down from the 15% to 18% of max rank on W, to I think just around 12% of max rank, which is a heavy nerf on his overall base damage that he had in the early to mid game. And also his Q has also been nerfed from 3 stacks per proc to 2 stacks per proc now. So he's fundamentally, I think, a lot weaker before his mini rework.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people are saying. So obviously, if you were to head to X and Twitter Nemesis, or even to YouTube, Nemesis was saying that the changes didn't really make a lot of sense. LS said that the champion was a lot weaker than the patch rolled around. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you saw Freaks like change philosophy around when Free System was starting. Basically, when Everfrost was really broken, Crown was really broken,
Yes.
when they were like really OP at that like one day of the patch hitting, Krieg basically
Mm-hmm.
said we're trying to buff items so that they get recognition in places where we want them. So that's why they were really broken, and then they nerfed them down by a lot. But now a lot of people are building Everfrost and Crown compared to when it was originally stronger than they got buffed. So that's sort of Freak's design philosophy, is to create awareness around items and champions. Hopefully they'll get
Mm-hmm.
picked more, and then they'll adjust from there.
But on the first picks so far, looks like they're trying to hit. I agree with some of your ideologies. We can get into it in a little bit after draft. But the idea of like trying to focus around the champions core mechanics and trying to get the build philosophy of the champions being pushed into the game instead of just the whole mythic principle, I think is a very interesting concept, and I can get behind that. But first, we do happen to have the Nocturne, Varus, and Bard being banned. And then we also have a ban of Zyra, Misfortune, and Ezreal. Ezreal with the current new iteration of the blue build that he's been having a whole lot of play in LCK in Korea as of late with Essence Reaver Rush has been seeing a lot of prominence at the moment.
Yep, and I mean, we did see a bit of Ezreal mid from Perks and Niski in the
Hmm.
best of threes. They didn't really work out too well when you have like the same five mages roaming around as we see Corki game picked anyway. Yeah,
Yes,
Ezreal
with
doesn't
the
function really well into mages.
that's true, and seeing that it's been with the new items of malignance being able to poke away a lot of the extra damage and having a whole bunch of extra magic resist and stuff, it's allowed a lot of champions like Mundo, etc., to have a bit more prominence based off of it, since you know even though he does a whole lot of physical damage on his E, his W AoE damage is still AP based, and having something like Malignance off of Corki is really fundamentally well having a front line do that damage for you.
Yep, and Twitch gets banned away, obviously. I'm not sure actually why they went for a Twitch ban when you have things like Corki Janna. You already
Hmm.
like Hentai Heaven is already going for like a poke centric like front to back comp. They're trying to whittle down the poppy as much as possible. Not really
Of
sure
course.
why they banned Twitch, but we already see Stretch gets banned away. I'm really liking the way Poppy responds to Jarvan first pick and
Hmm.
the Lucian to end the first phase of the draft. If I'm Hentai Haven here though, I'm banning either Milio or Nami. And the Thresh ban doesn't really make a whole lot of sense since it doesn't emphasize what Lucian already wants to do in the lane versus Janna and maybe something like an Ashe as Tom gets banned away here too.
I think something like Corky, Jana, Jarvan, giving them a way of being able to pick whenever they want to fight and disengage is gonna probably come into play here, as you were talking about. I don't feel. Oh well, actually, Milio coming in here, what you were mentioning before, is actually really on the nose choice and decision here. What do you think we would probably want here as AD carry?
As an AD carry, you want Kalen wouldn't be too bad since you're already being forced onto a safe pick. You can't interact. The more you interact with Lucian Melee, the more you lose. So I'm hoping to see an Ezreal, someone that performs like an Ezreal, Caitlyn, Ashe, um,
Mm-hmm.
Shen gets picked to give them more time for a ADC pick. Jinx also works. Jinx is actually a really good front to back style champion. Actually, maybe they don't want to take Jinx, but they probably will. Yeah, Jinx
Yeah.
obviously very very strong front to back. She has the miniguns for close range, the rockets for long range smoke at Poppy, etc. etc. But not
And you
really
also
sure.
get the Jana
Yeah,
sheet.
not really sure it fits with their identity though. You already have Corki Janna, and I'm not sure. Maybe Fireflies running away with daylight robbery in this draft here.
I mean, something what you would probably have put in that spot would have been, I feel maybe like a Zyra possibly if you really wanted to play around Jarvan a bit more. You still have the Janna disengage, which still feels pretty well with the Shen mid game fighting. I feel you could still get a whole lot of leverage out of it. But sadly enough, I'm not too confident in Janna as a champion right now. How do you feel about that?
Obviously, with the resurgence of Bard just seems like a way more like a way more appealing pick instead of Janna functioning the same, doing a little bit more damage.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And if you do a little bit more of everything, you're more than likely to win the anything in league, right? So Janna's
Yeah.
obviously focused on like shielding, disengage. Bard is a disengage champion.
Mm-hmm.
He can also be that engage. He can also be the dueler. He can also be a tank. He can also be an enchanter. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
why they then go for a Bard here is beyond me when they knew the Milio pick it was coming, and I think it's a huge blunder banning out the Tom or the Thresh when they see the
I
Lucian. Yeah, when they see the Lucian was picked to end the first draft phase.
I think it's more trying to just get it off the board instantly since they already knew that their support player Oxygen already plays um Bard proficiently, so they just want to get it off the board and not have to deal with it. I think Karma might have been a pretty good replacement for Janna as well, since it gives the team a little bit of overall AoE damage they might use in a team fight. Since if we notice their team of Yorick, of Poppy, of Hui, of Lucian, they're more fundamentally short range within the long range ability of the melee W, which does give them a added like 50 to 75 extra range on some of their autos and abilities. I feel having something like Karma might have been really nice here to supplement a lot of their aggressive plays they might want to be going for a front to back comp.
Yep, and I mean, honestly, going for a front to back comp is really good in these like scrappy. I don't want to say low elo, right? But in these like scrappy like emerald around emerald elos. But
Yes, yes,
yeah.
of course.
Um, but yeah, if you were to take a side here, who would you say won
Hmm.
Jet?
Ooh, I feel Fireflies might have gone with it. I feel overall having York to split, because a lot of times in comps like these that might have a sort of semi-clear draft, but sometimes like hedge their bets into to go something else. Because like the last two picks tend to go for comfort picks rather than going for counter picks sometimes. Games tend to go a little bit longer because people like lose sight of objectives. Their back timings might be a bit poor, and it gives somebody a chance like Yorick to punish those situations while taking plates and stuff early, which it could be a situation. And you'll have somebody like Shen who will have to TP across the map to protect their team, which gives Yorick a big opening to be able to clear waves and push advantage.
Yeah, but I agree. But the top lane is not completely doomed for Shen with
No.
obviously with the resurgence of Titanic Hydra and TML
Oh,
like
of
items.
course,
Shen
I
is able
agree.
to Shen is able to outduel if all if not most bruisers
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
or the top any of the champions in the top lane roster. So I mean, honestly, I'm expecting Shen to go Ignite. If I'm being completely honest, not TP. Yes, you lose the return to lane, but if you want to
Hmm.
withstand, if you don't want to let Yorick run away with the game in top lane without calling Jarvan for help 24/7, I'm expecting him to go Ignite.
With the introduction of Grubs for season 14, I feel I can agree with you that Ignite in a 2v2 scenario feels way more impactful, especially when mid moves up when you have Wei or Corky moving up for either 3v3 or 3v2. I think Ignite can kind of tip the scales in trying to get the advantage. But it looks like actually York has the Ignite. He said, "Nah, I'm not leaving up here. I'm living. I reside up here."
Yep, as we hop into the game,
Okay, it looks like they're opening pathing. They might go for 5 point here. How do you feel about 5 pointing new season 14? Do you still like it feels like it's worth it anymore?
depends. Obviously, if you have champions like Bel'Veth who fell off really hard post a new season patch and preseason, if you
Mm-hmm.
have champions like Bel'Veth, Lilia really strong at the moment. I think the nerfs didn't hit her as much as Riot wanted to, but these sort of champions who want to invade, and if you're starting on the left side and the Raptors are on the top side of the map, you definitely want to invade Raptors. So it depends. The 5 points here, I'm not not a lot of things that Hentie Haven could do, and FireFlies could do in an invade. So yeah,
Uh, let's see here. Oh, a little bit of poke here from Little Ruther and Corky. Getting some gold out. A gold so far. Pretty decent trade. Right now, they're just trying to set up protection here. Looks like Jarvan is starting up top side. Toyota is.
Miller getting a really deep ward into his Raptors. This is actually a huge ward. Gives a lot of information to where Jarn might be pathing.
That's for sure. And I don't think like a lot of players can't really play around the situation. Like even if you do happen to know the vision it is here, you can't have your pathing be disrupted, to say the least.
I think the name of the game is definitely how much Wei or Corki can mitigate these like unpressured losses. It'll definitely be whoever can edge out the tiniest lead the most. I'm not expecting the Jinx or Janna lane to do anything if not impact anywhere on the map. Maybe they can roam up for the grubs early, but I'm not expecting them to be getting any breathing room.
No, of course not. Jinx fundamentally is a hyper carry, and hyper character, just like any other champion, tends to scale at 2 or 3 items. Unlike somebody like Lucian, who probably only needs like Novori plus X item, you know. So it's gonna be a bit tough for her while being poked out by Milio, and them having a bit of sustain in Milio's abilities to heal them back up and sustain them in lane. All right, cozy campfire being used here.
Solution does dash onto the Jinx. We're gonna have to take a look at top lane here. Shen is falling below half HP. This could be a kill. York does have ignite, does ignite him. Shen forced to flash early. Q flash coming out from York, maybe? No, it doesn't land the E either. And
No.
Shen has to take an early back here if he wants to continue living in this lane. Jarvan flagging drag hits on the Lucian. Does have dash though. Has to be
Oh,
forced to flash. Jinx flashes after him. He'll use defensively. Poppy comes in with the EW. First blood goes to
and
Poppy. Not what you want to see. Maybe we would have gone to Lucian, but nevertheless, flag and drag hits 3 people at once, trying to save the Janna. Maybe the maybe the Jordan did slightly end there.
well, it was the flag and drag was probably trying to take out the Lucian so that at least that they go parity and it like lose the wave, and him dying to Milia might have been a pretty fine trade. By him going for this play and still losing out because of cozy campfire, the shielding off of Airy, saving both of their bacons is unfortunate for Haven right now.
And I mean, the good news is the 2 kills did go to Poppy, who is running the Dark Harvest. You may be expecting her to go. You obviously can't go Divine Thunder anymore, so you may be expecting her to go like slightly a bruiser item first, then itemize into full tank. So
Hmm.
that's the good news. The bad news is you just lost so much XP in bot lane, and you just as Jarvan you just lost tempo, and now you're trying to do something here again, and you get spotted. So essentially, Poppy's gonna do something on the other side of the map, and you're not getting anything off the bot side.
Oh, we do happen to lose a ganking opportunity potentially. Looks like we have a, on top side here, Poppy looking to see if they could try square up something. But it's not going to be happening while Poro Demon is just going to be freezing the wave here.
I mean, Jarvan is still here. He's investing in stocks as this is the flag and drag and the jinx traps do force the Milio flash. And again, you're just if I'm Jarvan right now, this is the worst case scenario this game could have gone. There is you just try to make something happen on bottom 2 times, nothing happened. You might be able to get this drag as Poppy does go over to top, but if I'm Poppy here, I want all 6 grubs because York's gaining an insane lead on top right now.
Exactly. Like, since you already have Prio on top and mid right now, wave states are immaculate and you can't really be contested by anybody at the moment. I think getting a Drake for grubs, 3 of them, and especially on somebody like Yorick, even 5 is just more than enough. This is crazy at the moment. Oh, really good, pretty decent damage from Ekonok.
Yeah, but I mean, Jinx is already out of mana from using her rockets and W's to get any CS at all. Jarvan is trying to sneak away the dragon. Almost actually falls down to it. As Poppy did secure the first grub and the second grub. The third grub should be falling shortly.
Alright, looks like I'm not only Spain is going back into the jungle with their puppy here. Gonna try clear up from top to bot, I would expect. See, Poro Demon currently here just farming up their waves right now. Having a sizable CS lead over Oxygen Thief.
Yeah, and if I'm my team and I'm looking top lane, I'm not too happy
Mhm.
with the I would not be too happy with the Shen performance. If anything, I would be flaming this guy if I'm if I'm anyone else on the team. Okay, so there wasn't a lot of from what I
Mhm.
saw in draft, there wasn't a lot of draft prep happening or draft research happening for Hentie Haven. You did see you saw the opposing top lane's match history, right? So I don't think Shen was the proper pick here with so many, you have Udyr, Rumble is still really, really broken. Darius is becoming a pro meta pick right now. As Lucian follows up with the Relentless Pursuit procs, PTA. Poppy is here. Exhaust has to be forced usually. I'm just fumbling words on. I don't know what's happening here. Shen is used to. Shen is supposed to use ult here to protect the Jinx, but he's gonna lose so much top lane. Soul kill coming out from the Hui on the Corki here just dives in too far. Flash for flash being used. Can he find the last auto attack? He does.
Oh my god, and this is a travesty right now. The first plate being taken by poor Demon on top side. Jarvan is probably looking for a play in mid, and he flashed and he misses. Oh, a lot of things currently not happening for either of them right now, while FireFlies currently has a 2k gold lead over Anti-Haven.
Yeah, and on stream didn't see that flash flag and drag on the way that missed because I am on directed camera right now. So
Yeah.
that is, I think that definitely should have happened off screen.
I think it's a moment where it didn't happen. Don't worry, guys. I didn't
Yep.
say anything. Don't worry about it. All right, Hui chunking down literally a 3 right now.
And he did. Now the way did go the Ionian boots first. I really like this because you're laying into Corki who has proven to not be able to touch you at all in this lane. I think the
Hmm.
Ionians being such a greedy buy that it is allows you to clear way faster. On the way. You have really long cooldowns, so you're getting extra value from the Ionians.
I especially do agree with it, especially having the devastation waves, being able to clear your wave as quickly as you possibly can. Hui doesn't have a lot of mana issues since the last patch updates for him. Him being able to clear these waves is pretty good. It looks
So
like we have some
flag and drag combo hits. Cataclysm lands on Amelia. He is stuck in no man's land right now. Lucian trying to output as much damage as possible. He also has to use force defensively. Saves Amelia. Cozy Campfire does heal him that tiny bit to be able to use heal, and he does live. It's just so tragic to see what's been happening on the side of Anti-Aim right now.
I feel like I could still possibly put it back. Like if Jinx is one of those type of champions that if they get a running kills of like 2, 3 kills in a team fight, it can obviously like flip objectives into Hentai's favor. But it looks like Poppy here is flanking topside. Look, they don't want to go for a play. Oh,
Shen is
and
really
she's
low. Gets hit into the wall, mispositions badly. Poppy does end up running away with the kill. This tower is just gonna end up going, man. There's no TP from Shen. No mid laner is just being perma pushed, and Jarvan is only going to his wolves right now. They're gonna get all 6 grubs here too. This
oh,
Yorick
it
is.
looks like we do happen to have a contest here right now at the Grubs right now.
No, you can't go for this. There's no way. Shen doesn't even have ult.
Oh no.
Corki
Uh,
does
it,
miss a couple of rockets, and they're just gonna call it off.
and then for Corky's troubles, he does happen to lose a whole lot of minions here in the mid lane.
At least the first strike. How good is the first strike goal right now? As the super mega death rocket lands on the way, maybe a constellation prize for laning phase.
That is definitely the case.
I
I
can't hover
mean,
over runes anymore. It's I can't even know how much gold Corki is making from first strike.
oh, I remember them. I remember one of the last patch updates. They were removed.
Hello? Uh, I seem to have lost my co-caster. But yeah, we were talking about something about the last, as Corki does. We'll probably die to the way here, getting ulted. Shen ult does come out, but it doesn't, do anything. That's just a cooldown being wasted. Uh, what happened to my co-caster? What happened? We're having technical difficulties. Hello?
Hello, hello.
Yep. You were saying something about the last patch and the rune object or like rune trackers.
Oh yeah, they mitigated a lot of the rune tracking currently. Like same with items as well. Some of the recent items you can't really track the statistics anymore until post game lobby, which is interesting to say the least.
Yep. Dragon
Looks like
is up
right
right
now.
now. There, if I'm Hentie Haven, I'm just giving everything on the map right now. There's nothing to contest. Nothing. You're just giving away more gold than you have to. As Yorick is just gonna go for the tower dry. Might be able to kill the Yorick. Nope. The tower just dies. Flash for flash being used. Ignite is also used. And Yeah, there's just this York is literally Superman in the top lane. There's just no way to stop him. Hentie Haven just doesn't have the proper kryptonite.
No, not right now at the moment. As we were saying before, unfortunately at the moment, like Yorick kind of is just gonna be living topside
He's gonna
until.
take this tier 2 tower dry too, and Corki falls down to 2/3 of his HP purely to just two away abilities. Flag and Drag does miss. Cataclysm finds two people, but he's just stuck. They're not stuck in there with him. He's just dying.
Oh dear! It looks
This
like Poppy here is gonna be going on to engage. Milio does happen to miss their
might
abilities
have to be
here.
used. She might still end up dying too. Just Poppy's just so tanky and so fed. They're just running down the tower. Relentless Pursuit is used. Actually, they're not even gonna find their way. Is here. Might be able to find something. Jinx, Jinx,
Oh,
stop looking at your map. As the oil does end up landing, she might be dead, and the Swain Eye does end up connecting. It's it's a disaster, mate.
looks like they're gonna be getting a bot lane push here. Gonna be claiming this tower on the bot side. Dragon and Cloud Dragon is gonna be taken here, and we're gonna probably see which one of the two leftover dragons will be getting either Earth or Fire.
Even Hextech Soul too.
Or Hextech is also an option. Looks like Poro Demon is going to be
Is he
personifying
gonna? Is
that
he?
name entirely.
He's just running him down.
As you were stating before, Poro Demon currently is just beasting it at the moment. Going to be claiming some plates uh
Yeah, this Toyota
from mid
Yaris.
lane.
Yeah, this Toyota Yaris is definitely not turning into a Urus. That's gonna have to wait for another game.
Let's
Yeah,
see.
this
I wonder
should
what.
just this should just be an easy coast to victory for Fireflies here. There's not a lot you can mess up on this with their team comp especially. You just have York split push on the side. The rest of the four just contest every single objective on the map and take and
Hmm.
just suffocate the enemy team. Like, what do you do here if you're Henhaven?
Especially if you happen to have the mating helping out on most of the objectives, since you can actually put her into a separate wave by yourself nowadays. It's just tough. It's tough. It's like having 6 champions on the enemy team.
Yeah. And now this is the point of the broadcast where you set up these imaginary, almost like unrealistic goals for the losing team to meet. Like they're gonna have to recruit the Justice League, recruit the Avengers to just win the mid game by itself. As Wei is gonna be 1v1 the Shen. The Shen isn't even doing any damage at this point. He is full tank with just heavies. He just gets deleted as a fight happens in the middle, and Cataclysm is finds itself onto uh, Lucian, but Coastal Campfire is gonna help him to take him down.
That's right. And looks like here Hui being in melee range and Shen just doing absolutely no damage is gonna also be a horrific sight to behold. But I feel like one of the other things that can still happen, like you might call it unrealistic. So let's see. What are some of the victory conditions? That they let Jinx side lane just by herself to farm out. They focus on getting Jarvan also some XP when they can, and possibly getting a pick on any of the solo laners, and namely being Yorick. So they need to dogpile him, possibly to get the bounty on him. That's probably one of the only win conditions here. Like give the objectives, get the Yorick on the side lane, and then convert after they've gotten a pick on him.
I mean, I don't even think that's all the win conditions you need. As Flying Drag gets stopped by the Poppy W, gets into the wall. Wei does fear Sun the Sky will mitigate some damage, but it's not enough as he just gets caught out and basically jailed. This is what being in jail is. You just have to accept these are the facts. As Jinx is gonna get picked out, Shen is gonna ult on top of her. Two ults have to be used to save the Jinx. No
Oh, it
goes to
looks like
campfire.
Shen is gonna.
Popiel does end up finding Shen. He's now out of the team fight. Has to be forced to go bottom now. Is that another charge? Not another
Well,
charge.
I think it looks like we can possibly get another
Oh man, it
charge
just looks
here.
like Belveth is on the enemy team, man. What do you do?
All right, looks like Power Demon is going to be pushed back a little bit, while the top side is going to be going to be a 4-1 split here. Oh,
Flag and Drag does end up
looks
missing.
like
Cataclysm is gonna find the way. Jarvan has to flash out to be able to re-engage at a later time.
That's right. Wait, was a little bit out of position there at the moment. Looks like he probably wanted to convert on bot side with Yorick, but he probably should have just left him alone, to be honest.
It really felt like they could have, saved away from dying if they committed just a little bit harder. Jan ult was down, Shen ult was down, Jinx was dead. Um,
I think with Drake being so close to spotting zone, they just didn't want to take the risk on it. Like even if it is a minute out, they probably didn't want to have any accidents where the whole team might have gotten ace and them not being able to prep any vision for it.
yeah.
Looks like Yorick on top side jungle here, trying to look for a play.
He can look for any play he wants. Who's gonna stop him? Who? He'll just like he has Titanic Tabby's Triforce. There's virtually no damage. No one has the capabilities to deal with Yorick at this moment. As Wantos is gonna find them. Will Lucian decide to ult? He doesn't have it. I'm trolling and casting. Um
Oh, looks like he's gonna get a poke out here. Jarvan's gonna be looking for a flag and
oh,
dragging into it. No Cataclysm is gonna come out. He doesn't have the ulti up.
and if Cataclysm was up, I feel like that was Lucian dead. You burn Lucian Flash in time for this dragon. Maybe that's the only time you're able to contest. As Jarvan is being looked at by Wei and Milio. They're just delaying this dragon.
Mm-hmm. All
This
right,
one
Poppy.
this one Chemtech Drake that the Jarvan did almost end up dying to is maybe about them another 5 minutes as the back scratcher does end up coming out. No Cataclysm
Oh,
being used. Does end up being caught in the Jarvan Nado. Runs pursuits out of the Jarvan Jinx traps.
let's see. Huey is currently 1v1ing the Shen on the side lane right now.
Can you really call it a 1v1 if the other guy just isn't,
Is it a
isn't
champion
protecting
yet?
himself? Like he's just dead. Like he's just dead under his inhibitor.
Oh no. Looks like he actually can claim this turret here right now with the 6 grubs that they've been able to farm right now. And especially with the Hextech Drake, they do get the extra attack speed going in. It's gonna clear this wave on the bot side.
Do the
Emilio.
grubs actually wait?
Hmm?
Milio is getting increasingly low here. Maybe Super Mega Death Rocket. Lucian double auto attacks the minions. Gets Milio has to use ult to, you know, erase the mistake that Lucian just made. Now you don't have Milio ult.
That's right. Looks like a Corky Patch coming out
Ooh,
into
that's a terrible
Cataclysm.
Corki package, but maybe they find the kill anyway. Corki is getting low. No follow up damage. It is out of range. Does pick up the shutdown anyway.
What you were asking about the grubs?
Do the grubs obviously like the Yorick and Malphite minions? They take reduced AoE damage. Do the grubs take reduced AoE damage as well, or
That is a very good question. I have not looked that up yet.
because I know when
Um,
you're taking them, they don't take reduced AoE damage, but I'm not sure when you're
because
spawning them.
I know Zack's passive takes reduced AoE damage. That I do know for sure. So if it's coded the same way, it should work that way, yeah.
Someone in chat said Anti-Haven can FF5 here, and then someone else said win condition for them biochemical warfare on enemy team gaming host. Honestly, that might be the play here, as Lucian does end up chunking the Shen missed the flash taunt. I'm not sure if he still has it actually. The Poppy W is gonna protect the Lucian from anything, but Shen is just going down to the mosquito bites.
That is Lucian, unfortunately.
Yep.
Yeah, so we do happen to have a
No
Kraken Slayer in
cataclysm
the Glory.
yet on to be used on the way. Flag Drag just does end up missing just barely. That's the
Yeah.
20-minute Baron is gonna get taken. Do you? Is there enough F clause? Do we have enough? Like, can you surrender a game or no? Is that against the rules?
I think it's bad sportsmanship. I don't think you're allowed to. Unfortunately, I don't think, and in most esports games, you're allowed to do that. Sadly enough, as much of the mental boom that can happen, you have to play it out. It's still I do honestly do feel like how right now the Jinx on the side lane, if they can kind of keep themselves from bleeding out at the moment, something could possibly happen.
As we take a look at the gold queues. Oh my god. Oh, that's me pinging. Whoops, my bad. I have X bound to pings. That's my fault. I was just taking a look at the gold. Flagging Jack has to be
Ah,
used defensively.
uh-huh.
Yorick can no longer create terrain. Does use it to maybe trap someone. No cozy campfire being used. Poppy is 2/3 HP right now. They're just gonna take every single inhib and maybe back off. Lucian is trying to get a pick off. No rapid fire yet. Can't extend his auto range yet. Flagging Jack does end up hitting on the Lucian. Has to be used defensively. You wave flash as well. Jarvan is maybe overcommitting here a tiny bit, trying to get the shutdown heal to be used defensively. Yorick knowing the lane.
And that is
Lucian is
it.
kind of low. Back special does come out. Maybe kills Janna. No. Titanic just does so much right now. He's 2 ahead. Jinx just left by herself. The next towers do end up going down. Can they defend here? Maybe they can just focus the next here. Jam Nato does end up finding York, and Poppy does end up killing someone. And that shit's gonna be game, man.
I So let's do a quick review, of the game. So we kind of had predicted that the Yorick top side would kind of run amok, right?
Yeah.
Um, a lot of resources were invested by Jarvan on bot side. He kind of hovered there on for like 3 minutes or so. Didn't really get too much of a playoff, maybe like 1 or 2 flashes out, but ended up trading kills and losing tempo. Do you think resetting as quickly as they possibly could and try to contest grubs or try to get a gank on who made to contest grubs might have been the angle there?
Are you asking me if I think the draft couldn't be changed at all?
No. I mean, like, let's just like we're resetting it. We're not talking about a draft. We're
Okay,
talking
okay.
about like the game. Like, obviously the matchups and stuff were probably a little bit more into the favor of FireFlies. But I'm talking about okay, we've picked our team. The game plan where we went didn't work. Let's swap it up and try to focus a little bit more resources in the top side. We're trying to shut down this Yorick and Hui. Where do you want to go? Who do you want to target or focus?
I think Jarvan going after he died, going back to bottom and just sitting in that bush to just burn Milio Flash
Mm-hmm.
when there's no dive angle to be made. I think that
Mm-hmm.
especially when you have Janna support, there's no dive angles to be made. Period. I think going top side and just resetting your tempo, getting your farm up just a tiny bit more to hit
Mm-hmm.
maybe 6 earlier. I think that's the correct play. I think you can't gank. I think you can't gank any lane that is in bottom if they're not pushed up to your tower. I think you just have to be where Poppy is and just deny as much as you can. I think you gotta take the 2v2 skirmishes, wait for Corki package. I think that was the win. I don't think I've seen Corki package being used anywhere with the combination of Jarvan and Shen. That
No.
was
He
yeah.
One of the disadvantageous things for them as well is that the Corki was just not able to roam due to the wave clear that you had mentioned with the Ionian boots. Hue being able to clear the wave the entire time, so whenever Corki moved, he lost 3 or 4 platings. So like how their comp was basically situated with Hue and Yorick, them having such good wave clear and Titanic, and the devastation wave clears that they had off of Hue's abilities, it just made it almost impossible for them to get any skirmishes off without having like Jarvan having to like commit to a play. So maybe ganking mid might have been an angle for them. Like investing resources into the Corki to have them to scale a little bit earlier and having Corki be able to transition that into helping top side or bot side by themselves might have been a better play. What do you think?
Yep, and I saw both mid laners they were going round for round, band for band in the duels. Maybe Jarvan could have came at perfect times or like near perfect times and maybe forced one of them forced Wei to back off or like potentially lose 2 waves, maybe potentially like
Mm-hmm.
counter wave. I think that's something he could have done.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I think at the end of the day, like it all comes down to I think Fireflies has Yamato on the team. Like, let's be honest. I think that's what I think. With obviously he's getting laid off from the head coaching position. I think
Yeah.
Fireflies did pick up an LEC level coach with multiple worlds appearances and LEC titles under his belt. I think that's what happened here.
The coaching was just too good. It was just too OP.
Yeah, whoever's
Yeah.
drafting on Fireflies needs to pat themselves on the back. As for Hentai Haven, I think their
Mm.
drafting was the weakest part of their game. Obviously, we couldn't see much because the draft gap was that humongous, but hopefully it's a more even draft going into the second game.
Mm-hmm. And even if it is a weak draft, I think playing to the strengths of both of their teams might have been a bit more advantageous since like bot lane does not have any secured kill. Because unfortunately, Janna cannot really set up too much for you unless it's around like level 5 or 6, especially having extra procs and Zephyr or Tornado and stuff like that, I feel like then you could possibly secure something. But having something like super early game, like level 2, level 3, I don't unfortunately feel that that Janna can secure too much for you. Something like a Karma, for example, and I'm gonna harp on her again. Karma possibly might have been able to secure a whole lot of objectives, being able to even rotate topside with a second wave of grubs, being able to contest that because I feel like Jinx versus Lucian, it is going to be advantage for Lucian if it comes to like a complete, 1v1 slugfest, especially with like one or two items. But I feel like if the Jinx kind of just farms a little bit with rockets and keeps the Lucian away, they can play it safe enough to force the Poppy to at least gank bot side or to at least try to contest. And you have Mega Death Rocket to possibly use long range to contest objectives.
Yep, and we're gonna be seeing a little bit of a role swap here on the side of Hentai Haven. Smooch is
Oh.
gonna be going topside now, not content with what the Shen did in his game
Uh-oh.
against the Yarg. I'm not sure what him going top changes for the game. Obviously, I don't know any of these players besides maybe four from Fireflies, but maybe he's able to, be the York from last game.
So Smoosh does have access to to Karma, has access to let's see, Tarek possibly or Nautilus. It does a lot of just fundamental support champions. I don't ever see them play in terms of like tanks or anything. So I don't. I also don't know as well. I don't know what it can go here. I mean, if you just put them on somebody like Ornn, it shouldn't be too difficult as long as they land their abilities. I think it should be fine.
Yeah,
But
and
if you
okay, so wait, go on.
no, go ahead, go ahead.
So I don't know if you were gonna say something about the draft, but
Mm-hmm.
if I'm drafting for right side here, you have last pick, right? You're able to get a counter
Yeah.
pick in mid, which with like the five same mages being in play right
Mm-hmm.
now, that's not gonna happen, right? You just have to pick what you're comfortable with, and
Yeah.
maybe you go for a Koiki versus Wei again. Maybe you go for something like an
Mm-hmm.
Azir who's really strong at the moment, maybe the top two mage in the game right now. You definitely have to counter pick top here. I think that's why the role swap is happening. I think they're trying to get a better matchup for top where he can snowball. But I think
Or
you
to
yeah.
slow him down a little bit, maybe. That might be also an angle, just to slow him down and not let him snowball too hard, indeed.
But if you're on this side, you're not
Mm-hmm.
gonna, as we did see the Shen, you're right, and they answer with a Yorick. You can't pick, let's say, if you're not gonna be counter picking top, you can't pick a Shen again, and then
No,
say, oh, I'm
no.
Shen, I'm gonna try and slow him down as much as possible. He
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
completely lost that 1v1. Poppy didn't even come once. Poppy only came at a dive and maybe pressured him off the the wave that was crashing and allowed the York to freeze and pick up like two whole cannon waves. You can't do that on right side. You have to go for a high risk champion, someone that can make plays. Maybe something like a Jax or an Aatrox. Aatrox is also good blind, but I think trying to slow down the enemy laner when you have right side and your team is giving you counter pick, I don't think that's an option.
No, I mean Sunring Sky with like something like Renekton or Set or something like that might have been an angle as well. But from the champion pool, what I currently see right now, I'm mostly seeing tanks, enchanters, and mages from them at the moment. So the option that it could run up top side is possibly Karma. That's kind of all I see right now. Karma has some pretty decent wave clear. You have access to Malignance. She does fight well in a 2v2. She can get some pretty decent tempo. There's also some Tarek in their match history as well, but I don't see how Tarek can really help unless you're playing like a old school Master Yi funnel strategy, but that hasn't worked in years. So we'll see how this turns out.
Yeah, but I mean, there was a guy running maybe like a season and a half ago who was running Yarrick, uh, Tarek's top. Yeah, Tarek's top
Uh-huh.
going the full blue build with IBG, Frozen Heart, Thimble Winter, and he had like a 65% win rate or 63% win rate, something like that. So
Hmm.
maybe we could see that again.
That could be really wild. I'd be very excited to see how that goes.
Yeah, as we do hop into draft here, hopefully they do change up their philosophy a tiny bit.
See, we do happen to have a ban here.
Zyraban on the side of Fireflies. Sarah was open last game, right? Or was it banned?
Very good question. I think it was banned. I think it was banned, yes. Since that's their highest play rate. Maybe one of the lowest win rates with them, but the highest play rate champion that Smooch has.
As we see Bard and the map get banned away. I think these are just going to be the same 3 bans. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, Varus gets banned too. It's just, I don't know. Obviously, I'm
Mm-hmm.
sitting here right in the chair as a spectator. I'm not under like any pressures. I'm also Emerald low myself. But it does, like, it kind of pains me to see all these champions getting banned that have obvious counters. Obviously, Varus Ash. I'm assuming that's why the Varus is banned, because of his high, flexibility into lethality or on hit with the Ash, or maybe like Nihilist, or to go with the lethality. But Varus does have obvious counters. The Blitz obviously is one of them. The Ash is obviously one of them. Zaya is obviously one of them.
Jarvan, also from the jungle, is also one of them as
Yeah,
well. Anybody sits on him, he can't get off of them. Nautilus also could have been one of them as well.
yeah,
But
but
I think it's due to the fact that they might not play a lot of those champions, right?
yeah, and that
That
I was
might.
gonna bring that up. These bans, they're not, bans. Hey, we're not allowing you to pick this champion because you're good at it. I think these bans are more of like, we don't have answers to these champions, so these are the most
Mhm.
obvious that have problems for us.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I cannot agree more. I think that might be the issue here. So we do have a Hui again, Poor Demon, picking it up for Ekonok versus the Corki, as you were stating
Yeah,
before.
Corki again. Clearly, he thinks he can exploit the way a bit more on this side of the map. Maybe he thought that the 1v1s weren't going completely terribly, or that they're
No, I
going.
don't think it were
Yeah,
going that terribly. I think if either of them had gotten like one or two ganks from either Jarvan or Poppy, it could have swung the advantage way more into either or the other favor.
and I'm already not liking the 1-2 from FireFlies here. If I'm being completely honest, you have a Corki and you already have a Vayne.
Oh,
No way.
I
Well, we
feel it.
see
I
Draven
like
is a
this.
legitimate answer to Vayne.
I like this. It's also an answer to Corki as well, because Draven takes. Oh
No.
no. Wait, this actually is not bad because Ash and Hui has synergy. I think this can work. It's
They
fine.
do. So they're going for like a pick 1-2-3 again.
Hmm.
We should
So
see
this
like
might be a bit more pick oriented. So I agree.
Nihilist would be perfect here. You can hit Vayne when she comes out of stealth, and when she goes into stealth, the ult still follows her. Nihilist is perfect here, actually. Will we see
See
it?
what they're going
What's the
with?
pick? Did they dodge?
Oh, Urgot?
I think that's a
That
random champion pick. I'm not sure. Um,
even if it isn't, even if it isn't,
Obviously we don't see a
that
lot of Urgots in this season,
no,
but with the resurgence of Titanic and Ravenous and Profane,
I feel like that could be a strategy indeed. Hovering over the Timo for the memes, or
they
actually just
actually just
picking
pick
it.
it completely. Yeah, he's really really good into Urgot. I don't think I've seen Timo lose to an Urgot. Obviously we don't see this matchup a lot, but whenever I do see it, I've never seen Timo lose.
I have not seen Urgot since midway of last year, so this is gonna be new to me. I wonder how they're gonna be working in this team comp.
Yeah, but now if I'm Fireflies here, I'm just betting Nollas, hopefully, and then, yeah, Nox. And I was gonna say Nox and after that, but Nollas needs to get banned the way Vayne wants to play the game at all.
So let's see what they ban here.
I mean, they could even go Senna, right? Senna is not a completely bad option into Vayne.
No, it's too much poke for her to handle. As oh yeah, they're taking away the Milia.
I'm
I
not.
don't. I'm not sold on it either. I don't
Yeah,
think the Milia ban here was warranted. Lucian's already gone, or Lucian's not gonna be used. I mean, Ash could be still be used as support too. Janna ban.
I'm not rocking with that ban either. If I'm being honest, there's no meat on the enemy team, right? So you're assuming they're gonna pick like a tanky jungler. and tanky
Eh,
support to make up for like the lack of meat. So I'm not rocking the Janaben.
Masked Yi
Nah, this is
here.
just a hover. There's no way it's a good game pick.
Oh, this is gonna be so cool. This feels like oh, this feels interesting. I really like games like this because you get to see more mechanical situations rather than team oriented ones. Okay, awesome. Zach is picked here. Really good. Champion to allows you to dive the backline. Might not be the strongest into Vayne, but a lot of the item changes allows Zach to survive a lot more longer in comparison to last season.
I wonder if it's. I doubt it is, but I wonder if it's Urgot support. Obviously, with
I was
the with the support item changes, you are able. Is it Zac support? I'm not sure. Is it Zac or Urgot support? I'm not sure.
it could even be Hue support, to be
True,
honest. It could be
actually, yeah.
Jane, it could be Jace mid, Hue support, Ash AD carry. I like this season. I love this season that a lot of the team comps nowadays, you don't really know what direction they're gonna go until they're in game or in the lane. Braum.
I
Okay,
like the
okay.
Braum pick. A Braum pick is really broken this game. With you're able to negate so much damage with the Zac damning your backline follow up,
And you can also mitigate like 70% damage that Jace does mid to late game, which is really, really good, especially with shield up.
and it's gonna it's just Urgot support.
Oh, that's solid. I like that because I really see Ash Sora as a higher damage Senna or a utility Senna, a higher utility Senna, because the ulti that could possibly be on a higher cooldown depending on what builds you want to go for. Like lethality gives higher uh cooldowns and stuff. This does give a really good added benefit.
The only issue I see from FireFlies is that they're they don't have enough AD damage or physical damage. Obviously, Vayne, a third of her
Mm.
damage is gonna come from true damage. Her crits do a lot, but the top side of the map is just complete magic damage. Rammus obviously does magic damage with his spiky shield. Corki does magic damage. Timo does magic
Hmm.
damage. It's gonna be really hard to contest the grubs here.
But I feel it's going to be one of those games that if nobody pays attention to Vayne, they can lose very easily. I agree with you, but I feel like it's one of those type of games. Like if nobody pays attention to Hentie Haven's Vayne, and she starts to run amok, then it could be curtains because all of them are primed champions to be taken on by Vayne. A couple of good tumbles, a couple of condemns, and that'd be all she wrote. And especially with a Rammus taunt to possibly peel for her and the Teemo blind to keep the Ash and Urgot off of the Vayne. I'm interested to see how the team fights get play out because Teemo's one of those champions that he needs a whole lot of setup, and especially with a lot of his nerfs that he's had to his Shrooms, Malignans, and to his base damage on his E and Q. I want to see how much utility he adds to this team comp.
Yep, and one thing I want to bring up, as I noticed when Zac was picked, it
Hmm.
feels like the Zac champ stylistically that can't function well into, and the Braum pick solidified it, right? He can't function well into like Timo, Vayne, uh, Corki. Like you walk on a shroom, not only are you slow, that's a huge chunk of your HP already gone if you walk into another one. So you're gonna have to reposition constantly, and I feel like 4 sweepers is mandatory here.
Yeah, minimum of 2 to 3. 3 minimum. 3 minimum. But I feel like a Rokurn rush or at least second item Rokurn could possibly just kind of cancel out the Teemo since it scales off of max HP. And Zag, unfortunately or fortunately, is literally only HP as a champion. So we'll see how this turns out.
Yep, and even then, if you walk on a shroom, that you're spotted, right? You have to reposition to another angle, and if you
Hmm.
walk into another one, I could really see him tilting off the face of the earth and maybe just rage flying in to try and force something. But yeah, I think Firefly's whole game will get made or broken on the Zac engage. If everything else goes even.
I feel like it can still go either way. I feel like it could still go either way. It creates a situation where the first 3 to 4 levels can set the pace of the game. How they play the first set of skirmishes, the first couple of 2v2s and 3v2s and 3v3s. I feel we'll see how the rest of the game can turn out.
So I think I might have baited you with the lane swap. While he did say he was lane swapping, he is still playing support. So I think I just baited everyone.
I mean, they did say lane swap, no? Or am
No,
I?
Oxygen Thief is still top lane.
He's still top lane. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So PTA into Jace. Okay. Jace used to have a pretty good matchup into Teemo in the last couple of seasons. I wonder with the item changes, Teemo tends to get a little bit more HP in their pool, based off of their items. Looks like they might be looking for an invade here.
Yeah, and you definitely want to look for this invade, at least some early pressure or information with the Braum and Teemo Vayne.
See?
They do get spotted by the Urgot, but not too much. Avoid gets placed down to the red buff. If I'm Zach here, I'm totally 100% invading enemy raptors, or at least warding them.
Or at least ask the way for it.
As Rammus is going to be starting topside, going to be passing down to the Vayne Braum lane.
I feel like that's one of the type of lanes you actually want to actively gank for early. Looks like we are starting a leash list here on Toyota Yaris.
Actually, he could look for a 3 camp into top lane or mid.
I love these type of starts. I love very good unorthodox jungle starts because nobody knows where the jungle is going to start from. You can kind of guess.
Yeah, as Zach is gonna do his drugs now to avoid the red buff, to avoid giving away information for free. He's clearly been watching a lot of Dantes and Tarzans.
What's the principle behind it?
I mean, there's simply just there's a ward on red, so
No, no, I mean like, but what's like obviously the vision principle, etc. But don't you lose out on tempo by doing this? Because then you start later,
not
or
necessarily.
like you.
Yeah, okay, so yeah, you do lose like a tiny amount of tempo, but like it only matters if enemy jungler can capitalize on it, right? But you do end up
Mhm.
getting like a half a level lead because your Raptors and Krugs are coming up that much faster.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Corky is losing so much mana to try and win these early game trades, but he's still
Yeah,
losing them too.
Eiko Noka getting some poke off with that way.
If Ramos shouldn't be doing this Gump right now, he should be going through river and ganking instantly. There's no vision being placed right now. They're not expecting a gank right now.
Yeah, especially not 3 minutes in. I think like after 3 minutes 30 seconds or so, they might finally post a war down. Yeah, they postured posting the war down.
As
Oh,
Ash, the Living Ward, sends out the Hawkeye and places down a ward too. Yeah, not much. A calmer game from last game.
yeah. In comparison to the last game, it is indeed a whole lot calmer. They're playing towards a lot of their champion strength now instead of trying to force things out. So I really, 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 really like this.
Timo isn't pushing this wave fast enough. Zach is gonna come in for a gank soon. This is so greedy from the Timo.
Yeah, it is also standing a little bit too close to the river. It's gonna make it a lot easier for him to get ganked. He
As
might be
Rammus
forced to
starts
use
going,
flash here.
there's a Zac engage onto the Timo. Might be able to trade 1-for-1. Phase rush just procs from the Zac. At the same time, there's a fight going on. Wei is being forced to TP. Vayne does not pick getting up the kill with the tumble. Has to flash away. Ghost doesn't completely save her. Braum has no CDs right now. Guardian gets procced. Rammus is just gonna end up rolling away. Wait, trying to get a fear off maybe.
Oh, and a bit of a poke there. That's really good. Some more tier stacks. Okay, he's trying to scale into Seraph.
At the same, while this is happening, Corky's getting XP for free, but he's hitting the tower pre 5 minutes. You need to back here.
Mm, I think he really wants to commit to this play right now. It might feel greedy, but his extra 125 gold could be really, really worth it here.
Not just 125 gold, he's also a level up now. The way did pick up a kill onto the Vayne from that TP earlier. Maybe it's worth, But we're gonna have to see as Jace is here. Has flash, can't get procced, and he's just dead here.
Yeah, Oxygen Thief's Timo looks like it does pick up that kill. Not being able to go into hammer form to slam him away to save himself.
Whilst this
Does
was
end up going
happening,
down.
yeah, whilst this was happening, Zach did pick up one grub. Koiki is coming up here, but Urgot's here, Braum isn't. We're gonna have to see how this fight plays out.
Oh,
Rammus
looks
takes
like we
away one grub. Jace is here already. Flash down to the Timo, to the skies, landing. Pops the Rammus back, and they do pick up the kill. Zach's passive is being forced way movement speed. I don't know what you call that ability, but the movement speed Vel'Koz.
I think you would probably want to. You would probably call it. I think pool of reflection or fleeting current. I think that's probably what it's called.
The river of speed.
To go the fast.
Yep.
Looks like we got the Chemtech Drake. Another Chemtech Drake start here. Vayne might be coming in to help. They do have Prio.
Corki's tempo is just how do you ever gain tempo versus Wei?
I feel like
He clues the wave super fast. He has Swain, vision of the Empire. Or like how do you gain tempo versus this guy?
I think is maybe until rockets, I don't feel like you have a way of being able to clear the wave all that efficiently since we have devastating fire or molten fissure to be able to clear the wave. All right.
This might end up being a solo kill, but the way does with his ult. As a fight is happening, a 2v3 fight actually for the side of Hentie Haven. Braum passive is propped into the Ash. Zac is here, flies in. Ash has to use both suns. Braum's shield expires. Ram is trying to look for a re-engage. Zac's trying to mitigate as much damage from the Vayne as possible, but she just ignores him and goes back in. Vayne tries while super low. Triumph doesn't save her. Don't auto him! Don't auto him! No! Okay, the Ram is spiky shield right now just in time. Will he escape? He is slowed, and the blob does end up catching him.
I think they risked it. They did. They gave a risk there, especially with a bramble shield option coming in. They could have. Oh no!
No, that did. Oh no! He dies there for free and the wave under his tower.
Ikonoka picking up a kill on literally a 3 right now. Uh, they're not gonna stay because the wave state is perfect for them right now. But literally a 3 is gonna risk the TP here. Possibly might have not needed it, but they really want to get this pushed down. I really love Anoka here putting down a ward in the middle of the lane to make sure that whenever Toyota is going to be roaming, they can have vision of wherever they're going to be going.
The Corgi package is up, right? No, not yet. When is
Not yet,
Corgi
not
package
yet.
up?
I
Minute
think over
20,
9
minute
minutes.
20.
Yeah.
Zach does terrorize the mid lane with her gods. Pushes him off the wave. Yeah, nothing to fight for right now. Grub should be spawning soon in a minute or so. Or in a minute 30. They're gonna try and
I
force a
would,
3-man onto the way here. He does. Flash is coming up soon. Rams finds the taunt in time. Flash isn't up yet. Not yet. It's up in like
oh,
a second. Do they end up catching him?
Rocket?
Doesn't, just barely
E-
misses.
Empowered Rocket. Oh my god. And is he out? Is Noka out right now?
Rams does have ult. He did ghost for this. He's just trapped. He has to use ult defensively. Ghost is still up. That would have been a huge kill. He's carrying a 300 gold shutdown right now.
But this
Ash does
Grub.
have arrow. Oh, Braum, that Braum shield is just so, as wait, maybe a soul kill onto the Corki here. Zach ult is being used. Yeah, Corki's just dead.
Looks like we do have a blind here. Landed on the shrooms.
Yeah, I mean he's just out. As Ash picks up a plate for free. I believe she got the solo plate there.
I think that's probably like one of the best plates to get, I feel at the moment.
A solo plate onto the Ash.
A solo plate on the
Onto
80 carry
ADC.
just feels
Yeah.
so, yeah, it's so good, no?
Yeah, and if you support, listen, if you're a support player, you never pick up the plates ever.
Be nice to 80 carries, please. Give them the gold.
As there's a fight for grubs happening. I believe Ramos picked up all three. Yeah, he picked up all three. Now they have four from the one he did smite away. I mean, they're just
Right.
bleeding here on bot whilst there's action happening top lane. Drake is coming up soon. If I'm Vayne and Braum here, I just sack this next wave and get a back soon. As an arrow does come out, Urgot is 6, isn't able to find the execute onto the horrible package actually. Maybe they still find that kill onto the Ash. Urgot he does
They
get
do.
displaced by the Braum ult. Rammus is here. Wei did TP and Urgot misses the execute. Rammus whiffs the ult completely. Maybe they find Wei's slightly overextending here.
But it better be careful because Wade does still happen to have his spiraling despair up still. It lands on the Corky, doesn't get a kill yet.
Wei's
Oh,
just dead here,
he's by
yeah.
himself.
It's just the greed. You can see the amount of greed just hurting both sides.
And right now, Vayne getting up that bounty. Oh, so this is what we were talking about in the initial part of the game. If they play to their champion strengths, and if they don't pay attention to this Vayne and don't respect her, she is gonna do a whole lot of work right now.
Zach is here to try and stop tempo. Beautiful play. This is such a beautiful play from the Zach here. I love it. Urgot does flash. He finds the Braum.
They can actually
Team.
transition this into a Drake.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. That's one of the plays you just, and most people will be like, oh, he just went in on like people that were backing, they weren't like watching. But if Urgot and Ash weren't there and if he stopped their tempo, if Ash and Urgot were just
Mhm.
slightly like maybe 10 seconds behind in their death timers, that transitions into a Drake regardless. And like, who cares about the kills right now?
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Ooh, huge challenge from the Corki.
We're using devastating fire here to try to get some poke back. Sadly enough, doesn't land. Oxygen Thief looking kind of low on top side here right now. If I was a Jace, I'd probably look for an angle if I could.
He does have flash too. Is he
It's
gonna go for the tier?
currently
Ah, no, he's too far away.
no. I
A much more even game. They are 1.3k gold behind, but not completely lost.
think that's like literally just one kill. I think like one or two kills, maybe a bit of farm, maybe one or two plates.
Yep.
I think leaving the team with a back air is possibly fine to get the extra plates down.
Corki cut out. Oh, the Ash arrow just barely misses. He is walking into a way here. Zach does flash to guarantee the chain. Exhaust may be a bit overkill. Why does Urgot pick up that kill though?
I I think it's the support tax. It's a support tax. He was there, so he deserves to get it. Don't worry about it. It's fine. Oh, Taunt going
They
out
did see
here.
the Ash arrow being used. Can Vayne dive? Maybe no. Too afraid of the Urgot. Can the Rammus
Uh
re-engage? Zach is here. As there's a solo kill
oh.
happening on the top lane, the blind comes in just in time.
Oh,
Yeah, there's
almost.
too much action happening on both sides of the map. That's like the fourth time this happened. Rammus does have the finished thumbnail. Skorky is being pressured into his tower for like the 19th time this series.
But the farm is a lot more closer than it was in the first game.
Yeah.
So this is it's a way more even standpoint. Even with the goal being smaller disparity like this, I think it's fine.
The moment they see the Zac on the top lane though, they should try and make a play onto the Ash.
For sure.
As they do, I'm not sure if the Korki saw that Herald was being done. With Jace moving down, they should know that Zac is on the Herald. Actually,
Looks
Zach
like it
might be able
transit.
to, yeah, Zach's gonna get off the herald. Huge wombo combo. Actually, it just barely misses. He does have to get ulted though. Teemo Poison is gonna finish off the Jays. Corki has to flash the chain grab from the Zach. Actually, wait,
Rabbits is
this
coming
is yeah,
up.
this is turning into a first tower. They could fight here. Actually, Zach does end up diving the Corki, kills him, gets out alive. The Braum putting
Uh,
in much needed work into the. Actually, can Ash die here? Huge flash dodge the arrow
yeah.
here. Wait, no division. The bush. No, the Braum picked up that kill too.
So both supports picking up kills on their lane opponents. The Ash actually autoed the Vayne twice. Autoed the minion twice instead of the Vayne.
No, that's you gotta set up that Toad
Unlucky.
team, man. You gotta set up that target champions only. There's a TP happening. Maybe a play being made onto Teemo. Blind negates a lot of damage from the Jace, but EQ does come out. He's maybe a bit too overcommitted. The taunt comes in just in time, perfect time from the Rammus, and he's just dead again. He died, TP'd back in, and he's just gonna get sent back to the gray screen. Zach is probably fuming right now, but they might be able to pick up this Herald regardless.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be looking to contest it. It's only going to be 2v2, and Ash is moving up as well. They don't know this, of course, but now they probably have vision of her in the middle, in the lane.
Yeah, Braum is here, but both ball laners from Hentie Haven are here too. Vayne isn't. Oh wait, no, FireFlies. Sorry, I forgot we switched sides.
Mm-hmm.
This Ash has gone in half of the tier 1 bottom, an assist, and just picked up a solo goal from the tier 1 tower mid.
Unironically, that W,
Yep.
that W saved her.
Maybe a kill on the Teemo here. Huge poke damage coming up from the way.
No, but Team unfortunately right now does happen to have too much HP at the moment, with the Leandri's Torment giving him over 300 extra bonus.
Teemo
Oh,
not looking at
ultimate.
what's happening in front of him. Braum is trying to save him, but he might just have to let him die. Oh, he does get flipped out of his W with the Urgot dash. Corki, not Corki, sorry, Jace looking for poke. Huge Rammus ult coming in from out of nowhere. Maybe they could
Looks
look
like
for more. Rammus does have Ghost Up soon, does have Smite. Maybe be able to smite the Urgot.
yeah, we
No
do
one
get
blocks
Brahms
the
done.
Urgot dash. Braum passive is blocked. Zach about to come in from the top ropes. He lands nothing. Corki just poking away, but he only has one item right now, and this is the patch where he got nerfed. So maybe pre-patch he would have killed everyone there, but unfortunately, you know, not doing too much damage right now. So the second Drake is gonna go towards Anti-Haven. Maybe Zach tries to go for a
Steal?
flyby here. Both
Maybe a steal
junglers
angle?
have 1.2k smite. Huge Vayne coming out.
Oh my god, and that does
Oh, that
not cancel
200
the
HP
cooldown.
smite. Maybe a bit closer than he would have liked, but nevertheless, a Drake secure is still a Drake secure.
And this is where we mentioned before, as long as you're not paying attention to any of the team's champions, the way you can do from their angle, that Vayne being able to keep them out of potentially stealing it was huge here.
Wait, maybe out of
Oh,
position here. Rammus rolls into him, gets feared. He should still die. Ghost has to be procced in order to. Actually, he doesn't even try and catch him. Notices that the Corki is a bit too far. Ghost
yeah.
burned for 0 value. Unlucky. And one thing I want to bring up is they are sending Vayne top to 1v1 the Jays. I'm not quite. I mean, this Jace is 1.5 items right now with Hex Drinker and Yomos. But I'm not
Mm-hmm.
sure. Actually, she's gonna try and 100-0 him right here. Bork is procced. Zach is here. She dodges the Zach engage. Doesn't see the Urgot. Jace doesn't have falling. No more ult for the Vayne though. Execute does end up landing. Rammus has to go away here. Actually goes back into the fear range of Urgot for some reason. Zach makes. I don't know what's happening right now. There's so many abilities landing and none hitting. Asher does end up connecting on Teemo. TP coming out way ult. Does find the Rammus. Urgot is came with his life.
Oh
Rammus
my
has to ult
god.
eventually. Zach, a quick attack
Wait,
coming
we
in
picked
big.
up?
Actually, only hits the Zach. Zach goes into passive. Teemo goes a bit too low. Corki trying to finish off the way. Flashes, but might end up dying because not Braum. Ash and Urgot are here. They're all so low. Wade gonna put in massive artillery damage. Zach is still alive somehow. Ram is trying to find the Ash Doesn't dies for it though. Ash flashes over. Timo
Oh,
blind.
and Timo the
Timo
one for one
blind.
here.
Ah, wait. Maybe trades 1-for-1. The Wait gives a shield. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, his pool, his Pyroling pool gives a little bit of extra shield. That that was probably one of the most wildest fights I've ever seen in a while.
Yeah, and I mean both teams were just going, into each other, not really recognize that there were other team members around them. I didn't really like how both sides played that, but
Yeah,
they might be able to even get Baron off that fight.
yeah, and that all started from the Vayne trying to kill the Jace. By the way, this is all started from
Yeah,
that opening angle there. I would want to say that there is a whole lot of scenarios now that even though that play did happen, they weren't really able to capitalize too much on it. No objectives to find, no objectives to take. Obviously, it still doesn't doesn't look too bad for Haven at the
yep.
moment. And Ash securing that kill on him with the help of Urgot there. It looks like they're going to be looking to try take over Toyota's jungle right now.
I'm not quite sure why he's rolling back in here, but he does have the aftershock.
Yeah. I would like to see a whole lot more is Oxygen Thief planting some mushrooms
Yep.
in the choke points of the jungle or the entrances, force them to use the sweepers at the entrances, and force them to commit to more to vision. Because right now they're just walking in for free, and that just creates way better spacing for them.
Yeah, what I don't like here right now though is because Zach does have the Herald, he's being forced to sideline with the Jays. But what I would have wanted to see here is put the Herald top way on bottom, because you want the Jays for that poke in like before the team fight starts, right? So you could have actually pushed with
Hmm.
the Herald here if
But
you
now
had
they can probably look for a dive if they want it, though. Oh,
Asher does end up buffering before the Vayne Condemn hits. Rammus is on the back line. Cleanse has to be used by the Ash to stop the Rammus from running her down. Wei is doing as much as he can. Urgot Execute is landed onto the Vayne, but won't find it just yet.
this might be a kill angle for
Yeah,
Vayne. He's
Vayne's
looking to
doing
get in.
so much damage. Don't drink and glide, kids, or else you're gonna end up like the Ash.
Oh,
Zach did miss the jump on the Rammus here.
Dragon is going to be up here soon. As long as Oxygen Thief gets to set up some shrooms here, this could be a really easy Drake right now.
This The problem is this Drake's coming up in 25 seconds. Ash is up in 13 and Orgot's up in 5. So they are being forced to back here to keep up the tempo.
But they're resetting. I hmm. How do you feel about them resetting here right
They
now,
have to.
especially with
They
this
have
Rick
to.
coming up?
They weren't able. The Drake wasn't timed up in time with the picks that they made in mid. They have to reset there.
Hmm.
Even if you can't buy anything, you still reset. Maybe that long sword lands you an extra kill or something. But maybe Timo should have stayed. Maybe Timo should have stayed back. I don't know if he did. I wasn't paying attention, but
Oh,
it,
he didn't stay back.
okay,
Yeah.
yeah, he should have stayed back. Maybe Vayne Condemn does end up landing on that little pixel of the wall in mid. They're not gonna find him just yet. Maybe someone flashes. Corky Rocket does end up hitting. He's finally done something, but gets Ash out and responds. Vacuum finds two people, Corky and Braum. Rams in the back. No cleanse for the Ash this time, but the way is able to peel. Zach is falling low.
Oh, shot
Vayne
down.
flashes into the Zach. Ash does end up going down. Timo caught out in the back line of the enemy team. Braum eased the wrong way, but is able to go alive. Maybe he finds someone here. He has to stall. He has to stall for as long as possible because they will be able to do Drake. Actually, they won't be able to Drake here because it's only Wei and Jace. He's just getting. He's not even
Ah.
seeing them on his screen and he's dying.
I think he's just like, okay, well, I know where you're gonna have to walk down to. I'm just gonna use this. Good luck. If it was either him or Jason is gonna secure that kill just now.
Yeah, but I mean, another crappy fight. Vayne gets just a little bit. She just sees a little bit too much red and flashes for the Zac with the shutdown. Whilst the shutdown is huge, I don't know about flashing on someone that can't re-engage into the fight that had no passive. As Rammus is actually gonna. I don't think he realized that his team is just nowhere around him. Urgot Dash doesn't have missing, doesn't find Rammus quite yet.
Okay, right now the three of them.
Are they gonna start it right away? They're waiting. They're waiting to maybe show.
Timo isn't there right now.
Rammus is
Huh?
so mispositioned. He's just dead. And they're just gonna
Yeah,
have to give
he's
up this fourth Drake. Asher did end up missing, but they might be able to. Vayne has to ult early here. Ash goes down. Corki picks up the kill. Zach ults, picks up the blobs and heals. Flashes to kill the Corki too. Condemn hits onto the
yeah.
Zach. Are they bursting the Drake? No, not just yet. Zach passive is blown. Way's gonna try and save him with the Zach. Yeah, Way does end up TPing onto one of the blobs. Maybe they find a kill. Oh,
Oh,
that
the
lethal tempo.
vein
Yeah,
gets him.
that lethal tempo, that extra range from lethal tempo came in clutch there. Can they do the
Look.
dragon now? Is the question. Huge
Oh, they.
EQ from the
Ooh.
Jace connects. They won't be able to do it just yet.
Yeah, Urgot coming back in. If Urgot gets to land one single ulti on any of them right now, that could possibly turn and pivot the fight. It looks like they're all just gonna reset on this in a moment.
Yeah, they're gonna reset for their third fight for this fourth Drake. No one. Wade did use TP. Jace does still have his. He's gonna be running down to bottom anyway because he's afraid because he has to be there essentially, right? The way Jace functions. But I'm not. Actually, yeah, Corki has package, so he has to be here too. I was gonna say if Corki didn't have package, maybe he could pressure another side of the map or pick up the ball way even.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh my
Corki, that's
gosh.
huge wombo combo coming out. Corki he has to back now. Use it. He has to. Yeah, I mean his package run out anyway. Now they have to stall for him to TV back.
So literally three here, putting him back to base yet again.
Is he dead? He's just not
And
paying
he got.
attention. He's dead. That's a fourth Drake for free. Just and another tragic death. He's
Are we
gonna
gonna be looking for a
Ramesh.
Ramen steal here?
Oh, close.
Oh, if it was there like half a second earlier, he might have been able to claim it. But unfortunately, they might be transitioning this into a Baron play right now.
Yeah, and I would have liked to see him maybe try and steal the Baron, not the fourth Drake, because this, you're giving them their second Drake. It's not that, you know, devastating, and you do get a third Drake if you do steal it, but you're gonna die for it regardless. So you're just gonna give up a Baron for free.
Mm-hmm.
As Timo might be able to poke some damage onto the way, but no, there's just nothing they can do. There's just Baron.
Yeah, there's a possibility that Timo might have been able to toss a shroom. So like usually you would want to do with Timo is set up like one or two shrooms before you get initiated on Baron, and then use the rest of the shrooms to bounce off of the others to land on the teams that are doing it, so that they're taking damage from your malignants or whatever items you're having, plus the Baron damage that they're
Yeah.
taking.
I wouldn't say they're running away with the game just yet.
Mm-hmm.
There's still, one a couple misfortunate fights. There's still like two or three misfortunate fights away from losing the game.
I think just a couple positional errors, either be it from the mid laner, or be it from jungle, or be it from the AD carry being a little bit hyphy here and there.
Yeah. Actually, he's still
Oh,
gonna
maybe.
die. He's getting hit by like everything, but he goes down to half HP.
I think if you had led with ulti, then followed out rest of the abilities, it might have been able to secure it, possibly.
Maybe. I mean, in my opinion, this Timo is so far. He's way too far up right now. Rammus is fishing for something here. Quick has to use Valkyrie defensively. Rammus has to ult defensively too. Has to ghost too. So many resources being used from the Rammus. Is he really gonna go back in? Who's here? Ash has to use cleanse. A lot of damage being output onto the Rammus. Gets chunked out half HP. Rammus gets ulted by huge. Asher
Oh,
finds first Neil onto the vein. Has to
oh
flash
no.
out though. And while all this is happening, Way is picking up 700 gold for free from the tower. Timo just can't contest them. Rammus is
Right now,
fishing again. He taunts the Urgot, but he buffers the E just in time. Braum shield is being used. Way massive flash to find nothing actually. It does end up burning Braum flash, so I'm not quite sure how useful Braum flash is in team fights.
flash ulti from Braum or flash Q can sometimes pivot away that allows Vayne to get a lot of her the auto attack stuns off from Brahm's passive. So it is worth it, I think, to get rid of it.
Yeah, but I would hope that the way that okay, I'm obviously speaking like perfect scenarios, but
Hmm.
with the way Braum functions, I'm hoping that the only way he has to flash is to flash towards his carries, right? So towards more of the backline, and the way he lands those his crucial abilities. As Ram, actually, I'm gonna have to stop my train of thought here. As Ram is always doesn't find anyone, counts the Zac for some reason, condemned, doesn't find the Zac. And they actually killed Ash here. The Braum just suicides, doesn't want to play the
See,
game
look, they're not
anymore.
paying attention to the Vayne. The Vayne's just running away with it. She's gonna chase everybody down. Going after Jace here.
He no Ghost actually ran out a bit before this. Eased the Rammus away, but he's tanking the tower. Doesn't want to pick him off. Zac is the last man standing. Has to go back to base and tell everyone what happened. Shopkeeper, please help me. I mean, there's nothing for them to pick up on the map. Dragon is up in a minute, but
Oh, that he can't engage on that.
yeah,
There's no way.
yeah. I mean, he was just baiting. He was just intimidating. But yeah, what I was saying that was a huge fight, by the way. Vayne was allowed to just fight front to back for no reason. The condemned did unfortunately hit the Zac, but they did kill the Ash anyway from the Vayne from the Rammus taunt, right? She had no cleanse, no flash.
No, no, she
Yeah,
didn't. And Terminus didn't give her enough resistances to be able to protect her away from any of the damage she was doing to herself, sadly.
yeah. But yeah, what I was saying earlier is like the way that the fights function, I would hope the Braum wouldn't have to use his flash to land crucial. But as there's another Ash tower being used, Urgot execute lands onto the Braum. Good reaction time from him.
All right, looks like Corky did end up picking up Malignance here, so now his ultis are going to be doing a little bit more AoE damage for the rest of the team to follow up on, which is really,
Malignus is actually the first item he bought in this game.
really it was.
Yeah,
I didn't see the
and then he
field.
bought Sorg's Manamune, and then Storm Surge was his latest pickup.
Okay, because I'll be very honest with you. I didn't. I think. Oh, I know why. Because a lot of the times he got poked out at a fight, so he was not ever able to use any of his rockets at any point. He's been bullied a lot of to these fights. I hadn't gotten a chance to see him in action yet.
Someone said one of the casters is a Chinese spy. Nope. Ni hao wu jiao rat. Sorry guys, I'm doing this for my credit score. Don't tell anyone though. Rammus is gonna try and find the mispositioned Ash or Jace. Koiki does have the package. Let's see how
Okay,
big his package is to find an
they're
angle.
looking.
They're all grouping on this one like crevice at the Drake. Timoshun's proving huge. A huge chunk of her drive by coming in from the Zac. Oh, the 33 HP smite! Huge whale. Zac cut out no man's land. Ramos going after a huge engage. He's gonna get poked down by a lot though. Ash being forced to use cleanse. This is a
Oh,
huge
end of
fight.
fear.
Ooh. What does she say? What does little tiger say? The blood boiling in his veins. And they're just gonna walk away with a soul point here.
All right, so this is a lot closer than we were thinking. The Vayne coming in clutch into these fights here right now, being able to take out the Zac, being able to take out the Urgot, being able to chase down this Jace, has had a lot of very good advantages for Hentai Haven right this game.
And I mean, all of these fights are coming down to mispositions. Ash, they like anyone but Zac was stacked on top of each other, so Ramos was able to find a huge knockup, and the taunt onto the Ash, so she was forced to use the arrow and the cleanse defensively, and she was
Mm-hmm.
for some reason when the Ramos was using his spiky shield, and she did cleanse the taunt, she was still gliding and hitting him. So I'm not like the APM numbers definitely need to take they need to lower when Ramos has
Oh,
spiky shield.
oh, they do need to take a dip indeed, especially since a lot of people might not know Spiky Shield does give Rammus over 400, close to 400 armor, and anybody who hits him within that time period with auto attacks takes what over 44% of the damage back as magic damage, which is huge.
Yeah,
You're doing yourself almost like 700, like 70 to 80 damage per auto to yourself, which is kind of nutty.
let me explain this in anime terms for those of you who might not know what Ramos does. I know this champion is a bit, not new
Old.
or not 200 years yet. So
Yeah.
imagine if what's his name from Seven Deadly Sins, the main guy, the kid.
Meliodas.
Yeah, Meliodas. Imagine if you nuked Meliodas but then he was still alive, and then he said full counter tier. That's basically what Rammus is doing to the Ashe.
Oh, and we
Yeah, I
haven't
mean,
engaged.
Ashe just has to use all defensively. She's mispositioned again. Urgot has to pay for her sins, though, this time. Surely is this being used? He might still end up dying, though, to Teemo Poison, maybe?
Oh,
Huge
and the
bottom versus
package.
Corki. That might result in a Baron play, because Jace is bottom. He might have to TP early here if they want to contest this. Wait, does get spotted out with a blue trinket.
Corky might not have a package, but he sure as heck delivering something to his face. It's
Yeah.
really nice. It also puts him into the game right now. The way I don't I don't know. I feel like if you don't get rid of the Zako the way, you shouldn't do Baron right now.
Yep, as Rammus is rolling in again, he's trying to find a greedy pick once again. Jace did the Jace did actually have to flash away from the Rammus there. Because Rammus did spot out he was TPing. No defensive summoners for Ashe though. Yeah, I mean she's just dying to Rammus spiky shield. Wait,
Oh, but the Hui
completely
right now clearing them
Wait,
out.
completely just nuking the backline though. Ashe is killing herself once again. Let's spiky shield. Yeah, I mean, come on, man. You have to do better than that.
All right, Rama's just rolling around at the speed of sound, getting out of there.
Ooh, who does more poke damage, Jace or Corki? I'd say the Corki
I
probably, right?
I think right now because of Storm Surge, Corky,
Yep.
yes. I especially with the adage that I don't consider the Hex Drinker a real item right now.
Yep.
Like it might be really good into their
Ooh,
team.
team of
Yeah,
swords,
yeah.
Corki Rockets. I mean, Chai, you saw it, I saw it, we saw it, the Ram saw it. With those high space gliding APM numbers from the Ashe, all the Rams had to do there was just stand still, pretend like he was walking away, and press W, and then the Ashes are dead.
Just walk towards her like a Pillaman.
Yep.
All right now we're clearing out the scuttle. No shrooms being set up by Timo yet. Drake is gonna be
Someone
up
please
soon.
go side lane, please. Once in this game, please, from both sides, go side lane when the objective is up. It's just an ARAM right now.
Oh, and a re-engage again, the
Ash
vein.
does have to. I mean, a huge chunk of her HP is already gone. She's gonna have to reset anyway. That's
All right, we
cleanse
got an
for free.
Ash
Rams
cleanse.
did have to use ult, but a 3 minute cooldown for like sub 1 minute. I take that any day. No, she dead. She might be dead here. He doesn't completely commit though. Vein Condom has to be used. Asher does find the Braum. He CC runs out anyway. I mean, I'm loving what this Rammus is doing. He's just re-engaging because they can't completely touch the Rammus. Wei is not in the proper position to peel for the Ash or chunk the Rammus out. Ash is just gonna end up staying.
I think everybody more or less just has to
This
kind of like
they need
peel
to
for
they need to
her.
move. Yeah, they need to move away right now. Quirky package is so deadly in the tribush. As Vayne does chip away at the Corki package, zones out the entire team, gets exhausted, but that's okay. He can die. Rammus is fishing for the Ashe. What an MVP! Doesn't die yet though. Wei's doing a whole lot to heal the Ashe. Zach does end up getting his passive pop by the Vayne. Braum Shield has to be used defensively. Mistimes it though. There's a lot of abilities can come out from enemy team now. Good sidestep
Oh,
from the
and that's
Vayne.
clean dodge from Ash
She
from
has
Vayne
she
just
has no ult
now.
now. Oh, that gets hit by the whale though. Braum has to sacrifice himself to save her, but Vayne might end up going down again. Gets one back though. Doesn't toggle
Oh,
into it. Ah,
ah,
the karma Q from the way gets finds her. So much work was being done by the Rams and the Vayne. Corky did get exhausted, so his package didn't do nearly as much damage as he would have wanted to.
and I think it's an unfortunate situation again where the team just didn't get to set up any shrooms for any of that fight when they were getting chased down. If they had literally landed on like one shroom there, I think that fight could have literally turned on its head.
Yeah. Please just imagine if Timo was going top lane. He has the
Oh,
berserkers, he has naturals, he deals insane damage to the tower. Just someone go side, please.
no, I refuse.
What Timo should be doing in these sort of like long drawn out situations is getting to the objective first, placing down like 2, 3 shrooms because that's all he needs, and then running to the other side of the map to try and contest towers.
Exactly. And even if it gets cleared, it allows the support to secure vision with their own wards. So they either trade wards for shrooms or shrooms for wards. It would have been really nice to have that set up.
I mean,
And this
even
is
then,
one of the.
you can tell
Mhm.
your team, hey, I'm placing a shroom in our tri-bush near where our tier 1 turret was. I'm placing a shroom like in the middle of the river. They're gonna have to fly into the vein. They're gonna have to, the Zac has to fly into us. The Urgot has to go into us. Play around these shrooms. Bait them into us because we have to play front to back. They don't.
Exactly. I think that's one of the biggest issues that Timo has really in team play is that having your teammates try to listen to you to play around.
One sweeper and he's dead here. One
Nah,
sweeper and
he's
he's
fine.
dead. The shroom
He's
does
fine. He's
get
fine.
procced.
He's fine. He's fine. Shh, it's okay.
There's
It's
no
fine.
vision. There's no vision besides this blue. If he walks out, he doesn't have autoing it. Does get yeah. He just completely gives up on the stealth play. They're gonna try and turn from this Baron. They can't completely do it yet because the Baron does end up doing a lot of damage.
They're looking to find a way to re-angle here. They might be coming through, maybe through mid side.
Corki has no package here.
This is a perfect choke point for Croaky here to toss some abilities out. Also, it's a good way for Jace to also toss out some abilities as well.
So once again, someone should be going bottom. Look at how drawn out this team fight is gonna be. Like they just stared at each other in river for like a minute. A tier 1 tower from bottom could have been gone by now.
Yeah, top side is also starting to be pushed in right now. They need to answer these waves.
Jace does finish that maw. Timo Timo Ramos and Koki won't be doing too much damage now. A huge chunk of Urgot's HP gets blown away from Koki rockets. Ooh, the big one does end up finding a way. Are they gonna try and engage here? Timo just gets sacrificed to the gods by Rammus. Not completely sure what Timo was doing playing with the Rammus there, but Koki might end up dying here too. No, has to dash out defensively. Rammus again is trying to greed for some play here. Might end up dying here actually. He has to proc Aftershock now.
All
Vayne
right.
has to use flash defensively to answer Zach's flash. Rammus does end up dying. No Aftershock to proc. No spiky shield either. Vayne did have to use ult defensively to answer stealth. Wait, doesn't hit anything there. Braum getting chunked away. This
They
might,
might look for a dive here.
yeah, or they take the inhib and go Baron instantly maybe. Rammus is doing such a great job at recognizing like he's the inter, he's the guy that makes the engage, or rather makes a disengage onto the Ashe as we have a pause incoming.
Looks
Jungle DC'd, unlucky man.
on Fort.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about these fights being approached at the moment? Because you said like yes, they realize that Zach and Ramos right now are the playmakers this game, right? Especially with how they're working, they're playing, having to play it like front to back, etc. Um, who do you feel needs to be the prime target at the moment to make this game? How are we taking this inhibitor?
From FireFlies?
Yes, how are we taking the inhibitor from them? Who we got to focus ticket?
Okay, so first you gotta clear out the Timo vision, right? Because if
Yeah.
yeah, you gotta, and then Zach has to be able to has to find flanks. Urgot is your main, peeler for Ashe and Way as my game completely freezes. So we're gonna have to take a pause on this Baron as it unfreezes again because the pause was
Oh,
Corky with a
I'm
massive
literally
steal.
on three.
No, they're paying the Zac swipe. Oh, that's for sure a tilter. That's a mega tilter. I'd be going L9 on the Zac right now.
And no Corky, who has been having a rough game at it all game, comes at the 11th hour and he says, "Yo, mine."
Soul is coming up. He did end up using package. He did use package to try and contest that Baron, right? Let
From
me.
what I saw,
No, he still has
no.
it. He still has it. What? This guy is hacking into the game. What?
Yeah, he said like, "Nah, I got it, bro. It's fine."
Now, if there was ever a time for Timo to go side, it's now. Please, just go side. Your team is able to stall out these objectives. He has to go side now. They were late to the dragon. He's not gonna be able to find any shrooms to find the Ash is kind of mispositioned here. Has to use flashes. I mean, Clyde's defensively. What is
And the
Corky
Corky
doing?
package,
No!
and the Corky package is coming in here.
Ashar doesn't have missing.
Unfortunately,
JCQ whiffs just slightly. Ramus good good reaction on the Q to stop the Zac from flying in.
and they're finally playing around the shrooms. The shrooms are picking them off a little bit, being shielded by a wave, but the shrooms could be anywhere. Be careful where you look, where you're stepping.
Zac is gonna go on the blue buff, trying to find the Ramus there. They're just so mispositioned right now because they don't have the poke from Corky. Ramus is sidestepping left, right, center. He's gonna try and
This,
go for a steal. This Ocean
I,
Drake is so valuable versus Teemo and Corky. He has to go now.
yeah,
He's nowhere near it. This is just Ocean Drake gone, and they get soul.
yeah, he got zoned out by the Urgot, the support Urgot. They got zoned out by it, and he's going in.
He does have the dead man. Just don't auto anyone. He's just dead, man. He might be able to find the kill though. No.
No. Unfortunately, I think they have.
I think that's game. That right there. This soul just gives them so much more so much more pressure to end the game.
And the Zac popping in.
Oh man, how can you go from stealing the Baron to just completely running it down?
I I think it's due to the fact that you might want to hope that a team is on the same wavelength as you as in terms of objectives, but nobody can really keep up with the Ramets, right? So it makes it very difficult. And we have a catch here on them.
He's still alive. I don't know how he survived, but he does end up dying to the Teemo. Ash is gliding everywhere, even on the minions. Vayne does end up dying, and that might just be game.
This is possibly it. 50 seconds on Arvane, 6 seconds on Rammus.
Corky has
That's
to
not
delete
going
this
to be
wave.
enough.
Corky has to delete this wave. They're gonna tank the tower, the next tower. Yeah, I mean he's doing a great job deleting the wave. They can't end anymore. That's Jay's just flashes for I will say no reason there.
I think he probably wanted to use a hammer strike on Rammus maybe to hit him into the team. But they have Urgot right now. Urgot can kind of like pick away at the Rammus right now, so they could possibly still do something here.
Yeah, and you did have Moss still up, so it wasn't like Corky was gonna one shot you or anything.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he just loses flash for free there. Still a scrappy game. Urgot does not bind the tenacity potion, the elixir of strength, right?
Corky, you mean?
No, Urgot.
Yeah, yes.
The elixir of wrath, elixir of sorcery, and elixir of strength, right?
Elixir of iron.
Iron. Okay, so it does not pick up the elixir of iron. Baron is
give him
up
extra.
In a minute 40.
So we need literally one more. I think this last fight is going to be decider in a 47-minute game.
Even if Hentie Haven does end up winning this fight, I don't think they can end. Like they just delayed their loss by like a minute and a half or so, I think.
It's a possibility.
Has to use all defensively. That's so tragic.
Yeah, having to use Soaring Slam. We do happen to have the Ash ulti and a back off by Zac.
I mean, the Zac does miss his jump, but the Urgot execute is there. Condemn gets put on cooldown. Ram is just trying to stall the game for as long as possible.
Pulling away a whole lot of aggro from the team.
Teemo has to go and stop the wave. Teemo has to go and stop the wave right now. Actually, there's a wave from bottom. The game's over. Game's over. There's nothing they can do anymore. Vayne. Maybe this goes to Vayne. Maybe she glides. Goes 1v1
Condemn!
Huge condemn. Cleanse and flash being used. Everything is just being funneled into the Ash. Brom doing such a good job at defending. Huge damage coming out. Actually, she's just dead here. Yeah. Actually, maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah, no, she's dead.
Close.
Close. All of them are. Wei is still full HP.
Hey, close in my heart. Okay.
That's just game. Oh my god.
All right. Unfortunately, the Beauty's Vayne could not pull it away from the brink. Trying their hardest. I feel Toyota might have had a little bit too mileage on him, going a little bit too fast. The rest of the passengers could not keep up. And that'll be it. FireFlies taking that game series at Division 2, the first week of 2024, then Valence lead over Anti-Haven. What are your thoughts? What are your feedback? What do you got for us?
I mean, it's a better game. It's a better game from game one from Hentie Haven, but there was, there was a clear path to victory there. They just didn't take it.
Mm,
They took the road not often taken, which, you know, it didn't lead them to where they wanted to go. It didn't lead them to Valhalla. Unfortunately for the Vayne, she did all she could, but the game's not in her hands necessarily. It's at 15 minutes. There's not a lot you can do as Vayne, you know. And
nah.
this Corky man, I don't wanna say anything too harsh, but yes, he did end up stealing the Baron, but
A
I
lot of
don't.
the fights, a lot
Yeah,
of fights were up to positioning, and they were out of their. A lot of the fights they ended up losing because they were poked out very, very early. Like oftentimes they were having to reset, being poked out, or being taken down or killed. They were in a very awkward situation a lot of the game. I think it might have just been a positional error, positional diff. That's all what happened. I think that game.
yeah, and I mean, I like okay. Obviously,
Hmm.
it's not all of the Corky's fault, right? Other
No, no, of
mistakes,
course
other
not.
the
Of course
mistakes,
not.
but I would say the majority of the mistakes in that mid to end game were made by him. I think the draft was definitely better, but not what you wanted. There were like definitely like better picks that they could have made, but maybe this is what they're comfortable with, and I don't know, man. This picking, you see Way, and then you say, okay, I feel like I could smurf on the Way with my Corki, and that just didn't end up happening for two games too. So hopefully they switch it
Uh,
up.
I think it might have just been a situation of like the back timers being a little bit irregular. I think it just might be them having some cold hands. It can happen to anybody. A lot of people can have like very off games sometimes in terms of like where they need to be, how late they need to be there, back timing, etc. And rotating to plays and stuff can oftentimes happen. The packages might need a little bit of extra work, but I think they played well enough for what they could do that game.
Yeah, I mean definitely, but I just saw it and I can't unsee it. The Corki flying through everyone. Only
Yes.
only hit the Zac with his package. Just flew through everyone and tried to one shot the Ash and just didn't. It just didn't end up happening. Ramus is allowed to be there in the end, in the
Yes.
backline because he's so tanky. He still had the aftershock to be able to be proc, and he does have the dead man, so he's able to weave in and out. But Koiki couldn't be there. Oh
I
man,
think with those type of scenarios, you might with Corky package, for example, you might want to try to hit from an angle.
yes,
Is what you want to aim for. Sort of like a Talia ultimate.
yeah.
It's probably what you would want to try to aim for and try to flash out over a wall or use your W again, your Valkyrie over a wall again, and maybe you would have gotten it.
I mean, it looked like that's what he was trying to do the whole game, but you know, he needs to stick to his bread and butter.
For sure. But with that being said, I want to thank all of you for tuning in and stopping on by. I don't think there's any other games that we're going to be featuring for today, or is there?
Nope.
Exactly. So we'll like to thank each and every one of you for tuning in, stopping by. Hopefully you are going to be staying great, staying awesome, and tune in next time.
Thank you.